January 2025, Neymar Jr., one of the greatest players of his generation, returns to Santos. Not as a conquering hero, not for glory, but because Santos, the club that made him, is in crisis. This is the same Santos that suffered the first relegation in its history in 2023. They clawed their way back in 2024. But the problems never left. Financially unstable, struggling on the pitch, one bad season away from another disaster. And Neymar, he's returning while still recovering from a meniscus injury in his left knee. But here's what's happening right now. Even broken, even injured, even at 33 years old, Neymar is saving Santos. He's doing the impossible. And now, the entire football world is asking one question. If Neymar can save Santos in their darkest hour, can he do it one more time for Brazil at the 2026 World Cup? Because here's the reality. Brazil hasn't won a World Cup since 2002. They're desperate for a hero, and the man who's performing a miracle at Santos right now might have one more miracle left in him. So let me ask you right now, do you believe Neymar can lead Brazil to World Cup glory after what he's doing at Santos right now? Comment yes or no below. Because this isn't just football. This is destiny. Let's break it down. The Santos crisis. How bad it really was. I'm Marcus Reed, and before we talk about 2026, you need to understand what Neymar is doing right now at Santos. Because most people have no idea how bad things were, and still are. The situation coming into 2025. Santos FC, one of the most historic clubs in world football. Massive debt, struggling to pay players fan morale. At rock bottom after near-disaster stadium atmosphere. Crowds demanding change. Media narrative. Can they survive another year? This is the club of Pelé Robinho Neymar himself. And they're still fighting to stay relevant in Brazilian football. Santos had never been relegated in their 113-year history. Same Santos that suffered the first relegation in its history in 2023. Now in 2025, the pressure is still on. First interactive moment. If you're a Santos fan watching this, comment Santista right now. Because what happened next is why your club is still fighting. The return. Neymar comes home. January 2025. Neymar's time with Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia comes to an end. The injury struggles, the limited playing time, the frustration. He has offers from MLS clubs offering huge money, European teams wanting one last dance, other Saudi clubs offering even more money. But Neymar does something nobody expected. He goes home, back to Santos. Not for the money, not for the spotlight, but because Santos needed him. The announcement in January 2025 breaks the internet. Neymar Jr. returns to Santos. The reaction. Santos fans. Euphoria. Brazilian media. Can he save them again? World football. Is this a farewell tour? Critics. He's 33 and coming off meniscus surgery in his left knee. What can he actually do? And here's what makes this even more incredible. Neymar wasn't fully fit. He was still recovering from that brutal meniscus injury in his left knee from 2024. Doctors told him, "You need more time." But Santos didn't have time. They needed stability, leadership, hope. And Neymar showed up anyway. The injury battle, playing through pain. Here's what most people don't talk about. Neymar is playing the 2025 season at 70% fitness with a meniscus injury in his left knee. The reality, still rehabilitating from meniscus surgery in his left knee, October 2024. The meniscus tear required surgery just months before his return. Can't train fully during the week. Limited to 60 to 70 minutes per game. Plays through pain in his left knee. Every single match. Every cut. Every turn. Pain shooting through that left knee. Risk of re-injury with every sprint. This isn't prime Neymar. This is a 33-year-old warrior with a compromised left knee, barely healed, throwing his body into battle because Santos needs him. And yet, he's delivering. Interactive moment. Comment warrior. if you respect what Neymar is doing despite the injury. Comment reckless if you think he's risking too much, because this decision defined everything that came next. The mission in progress. How Neymar is saving Santos. Alright, let's talk about what's actually happening on the pitch right now, because this is where Neymar is reminding the world who he is. January present 2025. The rescue mission continues. Campeonato Paulista, State Championship, January 2025. Santos needs a strong start to rebuild confidence after barely surviving 2024. Brasileirão 2025, starting April. The real test begins when the National League starts. This is where Santos must prove they can compete all season. Current status, as of recording. Neymar has played 8 matches, 3 goals, 4 assists, playing 60 to 75 minutes per game. Santos sitting mid-table, building toward safety. The left knee is holding up. So far, the numbers so far. Games with Neymar, 8 matches in 2025. Win rate with Neymar, 62% goals plus assists, 7 in 8 games. Playing injured. Status, Santos rebuilding with hope he's doing it. Injured, older, written off by critics. Neymar is saving Santos. Again, why this matters for Brazil 2026. Now here's why this Santos story changes everything for the 2026 World Cup. Because what Neymar is proving right now is this. He can lead a struggling team out of disaster. And guess what? Brazil is struggling. Lost in the 2022 World Cup quarterfinals, struggling in qualifiers, identity crisis, lack of leadership, too much pressure on young players. Sound familiar? That's exactly what Santos was facing. And Neymar, injured, aging, under immense pressure, found a way to win. What this proves: leadership. He can inspire a broken team. Composure. He thrives under pressure. Sacrifice. He'll play through pain for the team game management. He doesn't need to be 100% to be effective clutch gene. He delivers when it matters most. The parallel is perfect. Santos 2025 equals Brazil 2026. Both teams need a miracle, have everything to lose, need a leader who's been there before, need someone who refuses to let them fail. Interactive moment. If you think what Neymar is doing at Santos right now proves he can lead Brazil to World Cup glory, comment he's ready. If you think Santos and the World Cup are completely different, comment not the same. The tactical evolution. What Neymar is learning. Here's what's fascinating about what we're seeing at Santos right now. Neymar isn't playing like prime Neymar. He's playing smarter. What changed? Old Neymar, 2018 to 2022. Explosive dribbler, high-speed runs. Trying to beat 3 to 4 defenders. High risk, high reward Santos Neymar, 2025. Deep playmaker, quick passing, reading the game, setting tempo, creating space for others. 1 or 2 decisive moments per game. And it's working, because Santos doesn't need him to score 30 goals. They needed him to stay composed, make the right decisions, lead by example, deliver in key moments, and Brazil needs exactly the same thing in 2026. The 2026 Brazil setup, with Neymar as the deep line playmaker, Brazil could look like attack, Vinicius Jr, Richarlison, Endrick, Rodrigo playmaker, Neymar, orchestrating from deep. Midfield, Bruno Guimarães, Paquetá. This is the same role he played at Santos, and we know it works. The obstacle's still standing in his way. But let's be realistic. What Neymar is doing at Santos right now is incredible. But winning the World Cup, that's a completely different level. Obstacle 1. The injury risk. Neymar is not fully healed. That left knee meniscus is still a problem. One bad tackle, one wrong twist, one pivot on that left knee, and it's over. Obstacle 2. International pressure. Santos had 40,000 fans. Brazil has 215 million people watching. The pressure is 1,000 times greater. Obstacle 3. The competition. Santos face Brazilian league teams. Brazil will face France, Argentina, England, Spain, Germany, the best teams in the world. Obstacle 4. Age and recovery. At 33, with a meniscus injury in his left knee that still isn't 100%, can his body handle 7 World Cup matches in 1 month? The 2025 season at Santos is the test. If that left knee holds up for a full Brazilian season, maybe he has a chance. That's the question nobody can answer yet. Obstacle 5. Team dynamics. At Santos, Neymar was the team. At Brazil, he shares the spotlight with Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and other superstars. Can he balance being the leader without overshadowing the young guns? Can he do it for Brazil? All right, time for my honest answer. Can Neymar do for Brazil what he's doing right now for Santos? My answer, yes. Here's why. What Neymar is proving at Santos in 2025 is that he doesn't need to be 25 again. He doesn't need to dribble past 5 defenders. He doesn't need to score every game. He just needs to lead. And that's exactly what Brazil has been missing. The Santos rescue wasn't about individual brilliance. It was about leadership, composure, making everyone around him better, delivering in the biggest moments. And that's how you win World Cups. Look at Messi in 2022. 35 years old, led Argentina as a playmaker. Modric in 2018. 32 years old, led Croatia to the final Dani Alves in 2019. 36 years old, led Brazil to Copa America, glory older players who adapted their game and won. Neymar just proved he can do the same. And Santos 2025 is his proving ground. If he stays healthy through this season, if Brazil builds the system around him, and Vinicius, if the stars align one more time, 2026 could be Neymar's redemption. Not as the boy wonder, but as the wise warrior who's saving his club right now and will then save his country. Now I need your take. Can Neymar lead Brazil to World Cup glory after what he's doing at Santos right now? Comment yes or no, and tell me why. And if you want the full picture of Brazil's 2026 chances, go watch. Will Vinicius Jr. finally step up for Brazil at the 2026 World Cup? Because Brazil's fate might depend on both Neymar and Vini working together. Understanding both stories is the key to predicting what happens in 2026. I'm Marcus Reed. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.